The piper coming from far away is you with a whitewash brush for a spar and wobbling round you, a kitchen chair upside down on your shoulder, your right arm pretending to tuck the bag beneath your elbow, your pop eyes and big cheeks nearly bursting with laughter, but keeping the drone going on interminably, between catches of breath. The whitewash brush? An old blanched-skirted thing on the back of the byre door, biding its time until spring air spelled lime in a work bucket and a potstick to mix it in with water. Those smells brought tears to the eyes. We inhaled a kind of greeny burning and thought of brimstone. But the slop of the actual job of brushing walls, the watery gray being lashed on in broad swatches, then drying out whiter and whiter, all that worked like magic. Where had we come from? What was this kingdom we knew we'd been restored to? Our shadows moved on the wall and at our border glittered the full length of the house, a black divide like a freshly opened, pungent, reeking trench. Piss at the gable, the dead will congregate but separately. The women after dark, hunkering there a moment before bedtime, the only time the soul was let alone, the only time that face and body calmed in the eye of heaven. Buttermilk and urine, the pantry, the housed beasts, the listening bedroom. We were all together there in aforetime, in a knowledge that might not translate beyond those wind-heaved midnights we still cannot be sure happened or not. It smelled of hill fort clay and cattle dung. When the thorn tree was cut down you broke your arm. I shared the dread when a strange bird perched for days on the byre roof. That scene, with Macbeth helpless and desperate in his nightmare when he meets the hag's agons and sees the apparitions in the pot. I felt at home with that one all right. Hearth, steam and ululation, the smoky hair curtaining a cheek. Don't go near bad boys in that college that you're bound for. Do you hear me? Do you hear me speaking to you? Don't forget. And then the post-stick quickening the gruel, the steam crown swirled, everything intimate and fear-swathed brightening for a moment, then going dull and fatal and away. Gray matter like gruel flecked with blood and spatters on the whitewash. A clean spot where his head had been. Other stains subsumed in the parched wall. He leant his back against that morning like any other morning, part-time reservist, toting his lunchbox. A car came slow down Castle Street, made a halt, crossed the Diamond, slowed again and stopped level with him, although it was not his lift. And then he saw an ordinary face for what it was and a gun in his own face. His right leg was hooked back, his sole and heel against the wall, his right knee propped up steady, so he never moved. Just pushed with all his might against himself, then fell past the tarred strip, feeding the gutter with his copious blood. My dear brother, you have good stamina. You stay on where it happens. Your big tractor pulls up at the Diamond, you wave at people, you shout and laugh about the revs, you keep old roads open by driving on the new ones. You called the pipers Spartans whitewash brushes and then dressed up and marched us through the kitchen. But you cannot make the dead walk or right wrong. I see you at the end of your tether sometimes, in the milking parlor, holding yourself up between two cows until your turn goes past, then coming to in the smell of dung again and wondering, is this all? As it was in the beginning, is now and shall be, then rubbing your eyes and seeing our old brush up on the byre door, and keeping going.